Hey D's fans, welcome to Before the Bounce. I'm down here at our Manly hub and we're about to take off to Giant Stadium for our clash with the Suns. But first, we've got to do a little preview of the must-win Round 6 game. It'll be our first clash at Giant Stadium since 2014 and just our second ever. And we're expecting a little bit of rain, so it could be a scrappy affair just like last night between Collingwood and Hawthorn. We've made 4 changes for tonight's game with Harley Bennell, Nev Jetta, Oscar McDonald and Sam Wiedemann all returning to add some experience to the side. New recruit Adam Tomlinson is probably the surprise omission, and Simon Goodwin provided some context around that decision yesterday afternoon.
Oh, look, he's been terrific. He's aware that he's not playing his best footy. He wants to be, playing his best footy and be at the club for a long time. And, we're not interested in what the contract looks like. We're interested in what he's going to win this week and pick the team that we think is going to win. So, unfortunately for Adam, he's not in that, but he's a quality person. He'll work his way back in.
Today will be Sam Wiedemann's first senior game in over 12 months, since round 16 last year, but we know his best is good enough. He played that massive game against Geelong in the elimination final in 2018, but has found himself in and out of the side ever since. He's been able to put together some really good form in the practice matches, providing a target up forward and creating a contest, which is what we've lacked in the past few weeks. We're averaging just 50 points a game this season, so hopefully Sammy can help out Tommy McDonald and get the forward line functioning a little better this evening. Now it's time to welcome our first guest of the afternoon, who's in for his second game of the season, Oscar McDonald. Welcome, Oscar.
Thanks for having me.
I've been talking to Ego. He says you're in really good form in the practice matches. Have you gained a lot of confidence over the last few weeks?
Yeah, it's been good. Got the hands on the ball a bit. Worked on a couple of things that I need to over the last few weeks that we'd identified from round 1. And it's been a bit different with the trial matches. We're playing 12 on 12, 13 on 13, no wings, and 4v4 in the forward line. So it's a lot of open space, so we've had to work on the defence pretty well, and hopefully it holds me in good stead for today's game.
With no VFL and those different looking games, as well as smaller groups at training, has it been harder to earn your spot back?
I wouldn't say harder. I think we all get an opportunity, but I think training becomes more of a premium to showcase your form and what you're working on in your game, because it's obvious like you just can't go out into a VFL game and put forth there. So the training becomes really important, but then also those trial matches they're pretty similar to VFL matches minus the numbers.
You're probably a little unlucky to miss after round 1. Has it been frustrating waiting to get your spot back in the side?
I suppose it has been a little bit frustrating, but I knew what I needed to work on, and I think I've done that and put plans in place to make sure I do improve on those areas. But in saying that, there's we're pretty fortunate we're still able to do what we enjoy doing, which is playing football, and a greater sort of more of a society outlook on it that a lot of people can't do what they want to do at the moment, and we're pretty lucky just to be out here being able to train and play footy. You
haven't played too much with Jake Lever and Stephen May in the same side. Do you feel like they'll complement your game pretty well? Yeah,
I hope so. Hopefully we can sort of work in a good three in the back three. We're all slightly different players. We all know that Jake's a good intercept player and May's a really good lockdown one-on-one player as well. So hopefully we can complement each other and defend our back half really well.
I'm sure fans have been frustrated in the past few weeks. We've played ugly footy, but the whole competition sort of has. Do you feel like if we can learn to use that ugly game style to our advantage, we'll take it however it comes?
Yeah. Well, I think it's well known that we're getting our hands on the footy, we're getting it forward, we just can't connect it, into scoring chains. So that'll come with the more we practice it, the more we execute well. And but yeah, across the board, it's probably not the prettiest brand of footy overall, this year, but I think it's whoever can, win contests and score on the back of them will go a long way to win games.
Thanks for your time, Oscar. Go well this afternoon.
Beauty, appreciate it. Thanks.
We're going to hear from Jake Melksham very shortly, but firstly we've got to take a look at how the Suns are going to line up this afternoon. After going unchanged the past 2 weeks, they've made 2 changes to the side that went down to Geelong last week, with Braden Fiorini and debutant Isaac Rankin coming in for Will Powell and Matt Rao, the rising star, who hurt his shoulder last weekend. Isaac Rankin will be exciting to watch. Of course, we hope he doesn't go too well, but the pick 3 from 2018 is debuting and is a dangerous forward for the Suns. Now, Gold Coast is certainly an underrated side, but you can't take them too lightly. They're 3-1 since the season restart. They play a really attacking brand of footy, and they've got some names that don't get a lot of credit, the likes of Lockie Weller, Touk Miller, even Noah Anderson, the first-year player, who are in really good form. So we've got to watch them, and this is what they do in the centre of the ground. They always look through the centre and use the corridor when they can, which makes them an exciting side to watch. When up and running, that ball movement can chop up the opposition, but if we're up to it tonight, we could create some turnovers and score on the counter-attack. We like to control the corridor as well, so it could be a battle for that territory, and if the rain has any impact, the side who uses the ball better may come out on top. Now it's time to hear from our second guest, Jake Melksham. Welcome, Melky.
Thanks for having me.
You've got the kids up here, you've got Stacey up here. How's hub life treating you and the family?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously very grateful to have them with me up here and not at home in Melbourne. Obviously there's a fair bit going on, and anxiety would be pretty high at the moment if they weren't here. So they're very happy to be here, and the kids are none the wiser as to what's going on. They think they're on a little mini holiday. So yeah, everyone's going really well.
From a footy perspective, we've trained at 3 different locations this week. Has it been disrupting at all?
No, not at all. I think it's been perfect. We had a craft session out the back of the hotel here in Manly on Tuesday. We trained on Wednesday night out at Blacktown on a big ground, which was great, and we got to train in some dewy conditions at night, which we'll get tonight as well. And then yesterday we went out to Macquarie on a proper full-size deck, so we've had it all, and we've got the buses driving us around, which is good, so we got a bit of connection on the buses with each other, and yeah, it's been good fun.
We don't know exactly how the next 5 or so weeks up here will look. Does that make tonight's game even more important just to get things off to a good start?
Yeah, of course. We're here in a performance hub, and we want to perform well, and this is why we're here, is to play footy. We're lucky to have our family come along, and we're also some people have got family back home that we want to do proud and give some enjoyment to. So it's important to get off to a win in the hub and get our season back on track. So we're looking forward to that.
There's been a lot of talk externally about how we're tracking. Do you just have to sort of block out that noise?
I'm in Manly, and there's been no reports of that up here in the paper or on TV. So I'm not sure what's going on back home, but I can only imagine, knowing what it's like back in a football environment in Victoria. But we're up here, we're focusing on what we can control, and tonight we'll let our footy do the talking. Hopefully we get this win.
Fox Footy wasn't even on the TV up here, so had to avoid it. Yeah. Just lastly, the forward line, it's been struggling a little bit, that's no secret, but a bit of a different mix tonight. Are you confident that will turn?
Yeah, so we've got big Sam Wiedemann in tonight to bring some more aerial competitiveness to help out Tommy down there. I feel that Tommy's been doing a good job competing, but he probably needs a little bit more help in the air and to take some of those bigger defenders. So that'll be good, and we've also got the rest of us mediums down there to play with a bit of speed and try and get some more goals down there. So yeah, it'll be a good night for that.
Thanks for your time, Melky. Go well tonight.
Thank you.
And just before we wrap things up here on Before the Bounce, I want to give you a couple of things to look out for. Firstly, the overuse of handball. Obviously, our skill errors have been a big talking point during the week, but I think it's the pressure that we're bringing upon ourselves that's really brought about our downfall. We'll take a look at a few examples here of how this overuse of handball has led to turnovers and proved really quite costly. As we see here, we really invite Richmond to apply that pressure, which is obviously going to make it harder for us kicking the ball inside 50. So while the foot skills are an issue, I think it's more about who we've got around us and the time with ball in hand. So while this fast-paced chaos brand of footy will work for us, let's just see if the boys can be a bit more composed later tonight. The second thing to keep an eye on is Stephen May. We know he's a reliable key defender, but he provides plenty of attack from defence. He had 475 metres gained last week, which was the most on the ground, and is quite dynamic by foot. So keep an eye out for how he uses the ball and how that helps us transition and rebound from end to end tonight. May will also likely line up against young forward Ben King, who went with pick 6 in the 2018 National Draft, the pick we traded for Stephen May 2 years ago. So I'm sure Maisie will be keen to go well in that battle tonight. That's all from Before the Bounce. We're about to take off here from Manly, so stay tuned for more social coverage in the lead up to the game.